Ah! Oh! Yeah!
Oh, yes!
Yeah, you got that.
Right, I am at my friend Joe's house. You've already seen Joe taking a few shots. We've been playing around. We played a bit of foosball, we played basketball, and I've been teaching Joe how to edit videos, just the basics. But right now we are going to head off on an adventure. We've filmed some fun basketball clips, but Joe's got an amazing woodland near him, and we're going to adventure around that. We've got the walkie-talkies, so if we get lost, we're good. And yeah, we're ready. I've got a rucksack full of survival gear so we won't die. And yeah, so let's go. So we are trekking down into the woods. Now, the woodland looks really dramatic, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Just no leaves, it's just bare wood. But it's really windy. However, we're sort of sheltered right down here. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We haven't seen anything yet. Well, we only just started this sort of adventure. Oh, there! Look, pheasant. Where did it go? Ooh, we lost it. Okay, so I've handed over the camera to Joe. Recently in my live stream I was talking about being a solo filmmaker and how you have to film everything on a tripod. Seems like we've got a cameraman today, which is nice. So we're just going to see how this is. It's going to be different sort of video that you wouldn't really be used to. But this forest, this woodland is full of life. And we're just going to explore it and see what we can find. Oh wow, okay. Already found something. So this is a fungi, and it grows on the side of trees, normally rotten dead trees. And it looks like coal, and I'm not quite sure what the name of it is. It's something to do with coal. Maybe a charcoal fungi. But this is actually really, really interesting. As you can see, this almost looks like charcoal, and it's got this sort of texture as charcoal, but it's actually a fungus. Now what is super, super interesting about this is really the reason it's called charcoal is, one, because it looks like charcoal, and two, because it's a brilliant fire starter. So if you got a bit of this broken apart, as you can just do that with your hands, and you got some dry grass, some dry leaves, some dry branches and kindling, if you put this in, get your flint striker, and you started striking at this, it would catch a light. It wouldn't blow up in flames, it would start an ember, and if you put that into your dry grass, whatever kindling you have, then you can actually start a fire because it burns really hot, and it's just an ember. So it's very much like coal. It's very useful for starting fires. And I think I'm going to grab this, I'm going to put it in my bag for whenever I want to start a fire. It's very useful, natural resource. Seems like Joe's forest was heavily affected by Storm Doris. So straight through Joe's forest is a running stream, and because it is running you would be able to collect water from it and sterilise it to then allow you to drink out of it if you didn't have water, but luckily we brought some water with us so we shouldn't get thirsty. I'm on a tree right now that has fallen over, probably from a storm, and it's sort of made a bridge. And it's very interesting, very fun to explore, but because I'm wearing shoes, it's very slippery. It would be better if I was barefoot. Let's get down from here. Whew. So this is really interesting, down here. It's a little waterfall. Looks like the prime place for some frogs. Do you want to split up?
Sure, why not?
Yeah? We've got walkie-talkies so we can stay in touch and try and find something interesting to film. I'll leave Joe with the GoPro. I'll take this camera and we can see what we can shoot. Joe's going to go upstream, I'm going to go downstream. We're connected with walkie-talkies. So Joe is going upstream and I'll be heading downstream. But first I'm going to get high ground. I want to see if I can find any sort of animal burrows. The mammals will be further up, higher, away from the river. Here are a few burrows, probably.
Hey Lisa, I found a really calm body of water. I think there may be some frogs in there.
Oh, nice.
That's really cool, Joe. I found rabbit burrows. I think they're rabbit burrows.
So I found a small pool of water and I think there may be some frogs in there, so
it seems like Joe has found some still water and there might be toads in it. I'll have to check back at that later because I really want to catch some toads. Right, I'm going to head closer to the stream now, see what we can find. It should be really, really cool.
really, really muddy down here. Look at that.
I hear you. I've just put on the waterproof case and I'm going to check right now. Over. Okay, so sadly there were no frogs. It's a bit murky to see and I'm going to move on. Over.
Hopefully I can find some toads myself. Oh, I've got to get under here. A lot of midges, a lot of mosquitoes. Doesn't seem like there are any toads, but not giving up hope. Alright, so it seems like Joe couldn't find any toads. Doesn't seem like they're living around here, but I'm not going to give up hope. When you're hunting for toads, and frogs, in fact, it's quite difficult to get the toads because when toads feel disturbed, they will sit still and they will not move. So toads are actually incredibly camouflaged. They have a warty back and it's dark green. So around these areas where there's a lot of dark leaves, moss, it's very difficult to spot the toads. And when they do feel disturbed, they do not move. They stay completely still. And if you're disturbing the area, looking around to try and find these toads, they will not move. They will stay still and stand their ground. So it's very difficult to spot toads, but catching them is a lot easier than frogs. When you are trying to get frogs, if you disturb them, if you disturb the area, then they will jump and move about. They will try and escape the area and evade. So you can spot frogs a lot easier than toads. However, it's difficult to get frogs because they're very agile and super hyper and excited and crazy. But I better carry on down the stream. Maybe we can find something interesting. Okay, I found some clearer water. Maybe there's a toad down there.
Copy that. What have you found?
Too many pools leading into
Waterfalls, but I cannot see any
tadpoles, and I cannot actually see any
toads or frogs, which is a shame really. I've noticed that this sort of river is built out of clay. Yeah, so looking at the banks of the river, it is built out of clay, a very thick clay, and that's getting all over my shoes for one. And it's also
I tried to go up the bank now and it's made out of mud and I slipped and I am like the left side of me is completely muddy.
well, apparently Joe slipped on the clay. Yeah, it's a very thick clay and super slippery. Let's have a look at this. Alright, so Joe has called that we meet up after our last find. So I've got to find something interesting and then we're going to meet up again. So, having a look around. This is a calmer part of the stream. Alright, so I'm kind of stuck on the edge. It is super deep down there and I need to get across. This doesn't seem like it's going to be easy.
So here is the enclosure. I'm trying to find a way in at the moment. Maybe if there's just like a gap underneath I could probably get through. That'd be great. I'm at the enclosure and I have found a huge hole that I could get under. I'm currently inside the enclosure and I'm heading up this huge muddy slope. No sign of pheasants yet, but hopefully I'll get some shots.
Roger that, Joe, over.
So around here, as you can expect, there are lots of bugs near the water, and there's actually a daddy longlegs right down here. I'll see if I can get it for you. So they are incredibly camouflaged, and I don't know if you can actually see that. There it is. They are a beautiful insect. Beautiful. Down here, as you can see, this is a lot of loose clay, and I reckon an animal has been trying to dig its way around here. Either that or a tree has sort of slid down and the roots have pushed all this clay down. Okay, so in this water, everyone, there is a worm, an earthworm. Some people like to call them night crawlers. And it must have been in this water for a very long time because it is in fact, it is super defensive. And I think it's a worm anyway. Here it is. You can actually see its organs on the inside. It is so transparent in its skin that you can see its veins. That is crazy. So I've never actually seen a transparent worm. That's quite cool. I better update Joe on that. Hello Joe, I just found a worm in the
In a pool of water down here, and its skin was actually
transparent. You could see its organs. It was quite interesting to see.
Over.
That sounds pretty awesome. I have only found one pheasant so far. I got pretty close to it, but it ran off. But I can't find anything else, so I'm just going to look for a couple of tracks or something, and then I'll be back. I'll tell you when I'm coming back. Over. Hearing loads of activity, but I'm not getting anything, so I'm heading back. Over.
I think I've found a bridge. I definitely have found a bridge, which goes straight over the river. Yeah, this is cool. Roger that, over. So, It is crazy. It is so amazing around here. It's really beautiful how the river has carved out through the rock and through the clay. It's really beautiful. And I've come across this bridge that I'm just going to sit down and talk for you for just a short while, because Joe and I are going to head back and meet at the meeting point that we decided, and we're going to talk about our finds. So sadly, I didn't come across any frogs. I don't know if Joe did. I assume he didn't, but I really do want to do some frog catching in the near future. I'm thinking that this video should be an adventure diary, not an official adventure diary, just a little teaser into what the adventure diaries might look like. Obviously this is nowhere near the quality I want my proper adventure diary series to look like. This has been a spontaneous episode. However, I want it to be more informative, I want it to be higher quality, and I want more out of the series. I don't want it to be a vlog. So this is interesting. This is a mix of what I'd like to see in an adventure diary and also a vlog. So it's interesting. I have so much ideas for the adventure diary series, and thanks to my patrons, I can start filming it and start producing it. But I better head back because Joe will probably be at the meeting point by now, and I've been sitting here on this bridge. But isn't that just beautiful? The stream running through right down there. Alright, I'm coming back too, Joe. Coming back now. Over.
Just crossed under the fence and I'm on my way back. Over.
This may look like wire, but this is actually a vine of a tree. Wow, that is a strong vine. It's almost like a jungle in here. But this tree, look at that. Completely cracked right up the middle. That is crazy, man.
I can see you now. Over.
Ah. Hey, Joe. This tree is crazy. It's completely cracked up the middle, and it has a long vine going up it. Whoa, look at that shatter. That is severely snapped. Look at that. That is a sharp point. If you want a blade, you could rip that off.
And impale a pheasant.
And then you could hunt your food.
Yeah, pretty damn sharp.
So
Starting to spit. So
that is the clay, Andre.
What's in that barrel?
Hopefully not radioactive material.
Yeah, I think they breed pheasants here.
That's interesting. Evidence of a pheasant, that is one of its tail feathers. Cool, huh? Oh yeah, I came through this. Yeah, I found a see-through snail. Worm. Earthworm. It was in water so long that its skin had burnt. When you cut an earthworm in half, both sides still alive. In fact, this earthworm here does have a saddle, which is the sort of ridge in the middle of the earthworm. So I would assume that this is its baby. I'm not quite sure how they reproduce. Maybe there is a family of earthworms and they all live together. Who knows? It's been turned up, I guess. Just a beetle. I'm not quite sure if it actually has a... It must have a scientific name. I'm not quite sure. Probably a common beetle. I'm not quite sure. Do you know, Joe? It's not a stag.
When we get back. How the heck do I pass the camera?
I just jump over again.
Oh, ready? Think you can get back with the camera?
Yeah. Ow. Someone's had a meal here. Big bone. No, that bone's way too big for a pheasant.
Yeah,
That may have been.
hold on. It's a bit of a skull. Beak.
Yeah. That's a large... You sure that's a beak? That was a beak. That was a big bird. That's a crow?
Probably, yeah.
Pretty gross.
But what's that big bone?
That's probably a sheep. So the big bone was probably a sheep, and the smaller ones, probably a crow.
Died in the same place.
A large crow. And probably eaten by a fox, which takes his dinner there. So it's raining, misty rain. But we've had a cool adventure. It's been fun trying out new things. Joe's learning how to operate the camera. Yeah, it's been a learning experience, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that will be it for today's video. It's been fun, it's been exciting, and we had a lot of fun playing basketball. We got some awesome shots in. I threw a frisbee into the hoop. It looked like it was going to go out of the hoop, but it went in, and then Joe scored a basket after that. That was really cool. The best shot of the day. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay positive, stay humble, go vegan, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye. One, action.